I'm gonna see how well I can cool my house with my DIY geothermal AC system if I run straight hose water through the heat exchanger. Because I gotta water some grass, so I'm gonna have the hose on for quite a while. I might as well send it through the heat exchanger. That way I can measure what the water temperature is going in, how much the water temperature drops, what the air temperature is before it hits the heat exchanger, what the air temperature is when it leaves the heat exchanger, and what the temperature is at the heat exchanger of the water. I'm gonna get it all set up and let's see what we get out of it. I got everything hooked up. Ideally, I would like to just send the hose water straight through the heat exchanger, but I don't have the plumbing set up for that, so I have to send it through the ground loops. And I'll be able to see what the temperature is of the water going into the ground loops and coming out of the ground loops. And then if we come over to here, I've got a thermocouple on. This is on the copper tube here on the heat exchanger. So the temperature of the heat exchanger is 73 degrees. This is the incoming air with reading off that thermocouple. And this is the outgoing air reading off that thermocouple up there. And then my drain right here is hooked up to this hose, which runs outside. Let's turn the water on and see what we get for temperature readings. So water goes in this hose here. It turns left here, goes by the pump, goes through all 4 of the ground loops at the same time. They're all parallel. And then it comes back through the top here, over to the heat exchanger and the plenum. Then it comes back down this line and it usually recirculates if this ball valve is open. But because I have this closed, and I'll open up this one, which will send it down and out to my sprinkler. Let's see what happens. So, and then this is now flowing water through all 4 of the loops at the same time. I'm going to turn on the AC system on my thermostat. When I do that, my contactor kicks on, which supplies voltage to my water pump, 3.3, 3.2 gallons a minute. Our heat exchanger temperature dropped down to 68, hoping that goes quite a bit lower. The incoming air being 73.4, with a water temp of 68. My outgoing air temperature is 71.9. 20 minutes in, I apologize for being all sweaty and gross. It's hot outside and I'm working. This would be the water going into the loops, and this is the water coming back out. So what this number is showing me is that the water is increasing 2 degrees going through the ground loops. I don't know why it's so warm down there. That's a story for another time, but over here, our heat exchanger is reading 63 degrees. Our incoming air is 72.8 and our outgoing air is 69.2. Almost 4 degrees of temperature change. It's only been about 15 minutes. Day 264. Just kidding. 1 hour in. My water coming out of the well and into the ground loops is 63.8. And my water coming out of the ground loops is 66.5. So my ground loops are warming up the water 3 degrees. The water at the heat exchanger is 60 degrees. You might be wondering, how are you at 66 degrees, almost 67 degrees, coming out of the ground? And then when you're in the heat exchanger, you're at 60 degrees. How are you cooling off? Well, I think this is a more accurate measurement because it's taped right onto the copper versus this. It's not a very great measurement because it's taped onto the PEX. 60 degree heat exchanger temp, air temp is 72.5 coming in. After it goes through the heat exchanger, I'm looking at 68. 4.5 degree temperature swing as the air is coming up through the plenum here past my heat exchanger. So halfway through this test, I figured it's easy enough to modify the plumbing to bypass the ground loops so that I can run the coldest water possible through the heat exchanger. So that's what I'm doing here. I had to pick up a few plumbing components, cut into the closed loop system, add a bypass and a couple valves, burp all the air out of the system, and then we're back in business to see how much colder the water is if it doesn't have to go through the ground loops. All right, so that T is now in place. All of these ball valves are shut, so when the pump is pushing water and when the hose is pushing water, the only place for it to go is up across here, which runs through this direction, over to the heat exchanger, comes right back, comes down this line, and then goes out right there because this ball valve is shut off, and then this hose goes out to the sprinkler. And even if long-term the system is not as great as I had hoped for, at least I'm showing some people that might have a constant stream of cold water like an artesian well that they can tap into and use that to cool their house. It's almost immediately dropping. It's been 30 seconds and I'm already at 58 degrees on my heat exchanger temperature. And I've got a temp split of 5 degrees or even a little more. I got a funny feeling this is gonna start to condensate, so I'm gonna hook up my drain line, goes right there on my drip pan, goes down to the condensate pump down there. All right, so it's been running for about an hour and a half. I'm starting to get some condensation a little bit on some of these fittings and this plumbing. I'm reading 4 gallons a minute for water flow. And if we go over to the heat exchanger and the plenum of the furnace, we definitely have lots of condensation on the copper here. It's actually dripping off the end here and off these fittings and almost getting on my electronics. I don't see any running down the tube here. I'm guessing that the fan is drying it off before it has a chance to really run down and drip. I mean, the fact that these are running down and dripping on the end tells me that my heat exchanger, I think, is on enough of an angle for the water to collect at the end if the water was cold enough for it to actually build condensation. Water temperature is reading 54 degrees. Incoming air temperature is reading 73.2. Outgoing air is reading 65.8. which is by no means what an essential air conditioner system would look like. Temperature split would be much greater. We probably would be looking at an outgoing air temperature of somewhere between 45 and 55 degrees. So now it's time to check what the temperature split is at the registers upstairs in the house. Now I forgot to get a video of the return air, but it was reading about 72 to 74 degrees, same as it was downstairs. I'm using this thermal imaging camera, and I know these things have a bunch of different settings in them. I'm not quite sure I'm an expert on it. I believe I had my emissivity set to about 0.95. So take that for what it is if you actually know anything about these. And then over at the supply air, I'm reading down in that low 60s, maybe 61, 62, sometimes closer to 60. The question that I have moving forward, because I'm in this too deep to give up now. What if I could get my temperature of the heat exchanger down to that 40 or 45 degree mark? What would my temperature split look like? Maybe if I can sustain that temperature, maybe I can double stack another heat exchanger on top to get more surface area. So there's a couple options that I have there. And if you're wondering, how the heck are you gonna get the water temperature down colder? I have a crazy idea. I don't know if it's gonna work out, but I just like to test things and go for it. What if I took a window air conditioner and I put a water jacket on the evaporator side and the condenser side, and I took my ground loops and I pumped the water that's on the condenser side, which is the hot side, and I pumped that through my ground loop. So I would exchange the heat from the condenser side of the window air conditioner and I would pump it into the ground. And then on the other side, the evaporator side, which is the cold side, I filled that water jacket around the evaporator with glycol, and I pumped that through a double stack set of heat exchangers. Just maybe that would be a little bit more of an effective system. And I'm an awfully determined individual to where I don't want to give up on this until I have a system that can relatively cool the house. Now, one last note on this right here. I'm running the window air conditioner units upstairs. That's why my incoming air is only 72 degrees. But let's say geothermal ground loop field was big enough to maintain that roughly 55 degree water temperature coming into the heat exchanger. And let's say you didn't have any window air conditioners. Your incoming air temperature might be 80 degrees. If you had 80 degree air coming into the furnace and your heat exchanger is 54 degrees, what would your temperature split look like? It still might look pretty close to that 65 degree mark, which would not be the same as central air, but it might be about half the capacity of central air. I don't know, just things to think about. I appreciate everyone's support. It's been an incredible journey. And like I said, I'm in too deep. I'm gonna try to make water-to-water heat pump out of an old window air conditioner unit. Wish me luck and stay tuned because we're gonna keep going and keep learning stuff. Thanks for watching.